Do you want to know which YieldMax ETFs are actually making people money? Because I invested into 10 different ones and I only have 2 that are in the green currently. And again, with 8 in the red, that's not a great percentage, but the 2 that are in the green have been doing so phenomenally well. And the ones that are in the red, some are only down a little bit, and some have absolutely tanked and lost a ton of my money. I invested exactly $1,000 split between all 10 of these, and we're going to see what's making people money and what's losing them money. If you guys are interested in investing in ETFs and making money in the stock market, you are in the right place. Don't forget to like the video and to subscribe. And I have some big announcements in this video as well, so I hope you guys stay tuned. But first, let's roll that intro. We are only down $71.05, which is insane. So this is year to date. I started this challenge at the beginning of 2025. At our high, we were up $61.95, and at our low, we were down $239.54. Currently, all of them have drip on. They should all be reinvesting. And that's why it's really key that you look at the dividend tracking spreadsheet that I'm going to share at the end of the video so you can see what's making the most money through dividends, through price appreciation, and the opposite, what's paying out no dividends and dropping in price, because we do have a few of those, unfortunately. Now, again, this is all my own money. I actually bought all these stocks, which you might think is crazy to invest $1,000, but I don't know. We're in this together. So here we go. We're going to go through. We'll talk about all of them. We have CONY, TSLY, YMAG, YMAX, AMZY, NVDY, MSTY, XYZY, PLTY, and ULTY. And I'm going to zoom these up on the screen for you guys in case you're watching on your phone so you can see all 10 right now. And then we're going to jump into CONY. Now, I'm just going to look at the year-to-date on each of these because, I mean, it's rough. We've seen the last couple of months be absolutely terrible, all the way down 38.27% year-to-date. Now, because of the dividends, they are going to help make up for that, but this is definitely rough. It's disappointing, 1,000%, and it seems like it's coming back up. A lot of these are going to experience a similar pattern, which I'm happy about. I want them to be bouncing back up, but definitely a little bit bummed about how some of these are just so unbelievably beaten down. Then we have TSLY, of course, the fund on Tesla, which has been rocky as well. And what's surprising is, although it has tanked as much as CONY, even a little more, almost down 41% in literally 4 months. 5 months, nearly 5 months. What's insane, though, is even though it is so beaten down, we can now see that it's not bouncing back up the same. And I haven't been watching Tesla stock as much. You guys know I'm a Tesla fanboy for sure, but I'm not happy about this. And I've owned TSLY for a long time. I've owned it in a bunch of different brokerages, and to be honest, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm just not. I like trading Tesla. I know how to trade Tesla relatively well. TSLY is just not one I've ever really grasped, and I don't think that Tesla is a great stock to have options written on. Why? Because it's very volatile, which can mean insane payments. But at the same point, you're also going to have to dish out a lot of cash when you think it's going to go down and it runs up, or when you think it's going to trend up and it goes down steeply. And that's what's really a big bummer about Tesla. That's why I don't write options on it. I've never written options on it. One, because it's very expensive and I don't have that kind of money. Like, who do you think I am? But two, doesn't fit my strategy. So TSLY, not a big fan, not super disappointed. Market value with drip on shows it being higher than CONY, which is actually pretty insane. YMAG is one of my favorite weekly payers. So because it does pay 4 times every single month, what I do is I add all of those numbers up and I compile it to make it pay monthly and show the same amount in comparison to just our normal monthly payers. Now with compounding, that would be a little bit different, but you know, we're pretty close. We only have $100 invested, so compounding is not making as much of a difference. We can see, though, it is down 23%, significantly less than the others, which is really surprising to me because they just seem to be so volatile. Now, it is coming back up as well. Not terrible year to date, really. The dividends are a little bit lower percentage-wise than a lot of the others, I will say. So it's going to have to work a lot harder to make that money back. And although YMAG is really popular, the largest weekly payer is actually YMAX. And we're going to take a look at that right now. Only down 22.25%. But before I get into the details, did you guys forget anything? Because I definitely did. It's the end of the month, which means our giveaway is this week. I will be doing the giveaway at the end of this week. I'm super pumped about it. For those of you that don't know, I did a 10K giveaway. We're already well past 11,000 now, which is absolutely amazing. But the 10K giveaway, I'm giving away $50, $100, and $150 to those that entered, which I am super, super excited about. Now, if you didn't get entered in this giveaway, but you're interested in some in the future, I will be doing more, maybe every 10K. I'm not sure. The way we're going, it's happening very quickly, which I'm really happy about. So I will keep doing giveaways, and they'll get bigger and bigger as we go along. So if you're interested, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out. Now, back to the details. We can see not terrible. The main thing that people like about YMAX over YMAG is, one, it's trading roughly the same. I think YMAX has done a little bit worse percentage-wise, but the yields are significantly higher. It is paying out higher dividends on average, and that is making a massive difference in the overall return, which we will see in our tracking spreadsheet. So all in all, pays weekly, good compounding, one of the best weekly payers that we've seen. And now that we have a new weekly payer in the account as well, ULTY, we'll see how that one can compare. But first, there's some other ones we need to look at. AMZY, I wasn't really holding out well for this one. It's not talked about nearly as much. And we can see our market value is $91.24. So it's been pretty solid. One thing I will say is the dividends are very consistent with this one compared to a lot of others. And that's because Amazon isn't nearly as volatile, I think, as a lot of these other ones, like Tesla. Amazon's pretty consistent. So we do see it bouncing back. It was at a low of 1407. When our average cost is almost 19, and now it's back up to 1570. So it's not one of the more popular ones. Like I said, it's sitting pretty average. Can't really complain about it. I wish it would do better. There are some that are doing significantly worse. So percentage-wise, it's very solid. The dividends are just a little bit lower, and so you have to factor that in when you're thinking about which ones you want to buy from YieldMax. So AMZY, kind of in the middle of the pack. Don't love it, don't hate it. We have to see how the rest of the year goes, and if this good market continues or if we get pulled back into a crazy bear market. NVDY, the option on NVIDIA, which not looking great, down 37.3%. I will say the dividends from this one are a little bit higher, but wow, what a rocky journey it's been. It seems like it's leveling out. It hasn't bounced back up nearly as much as it needs to. Our average cost is $22.32, and currently it's at under $15. Total market value is just under $81. So not terrible. We were roughly down 19.07%. Not great. We definitely needed more than that from NVIDIA, but it hasn't been doing too hot. I will say it's taken quite a fall. At one point, it was down like 30% year to date, which is kind of insane. It was at all-time highs, so I expected a little bit of a pullback, but this market has not made it easy on NVIDIA whatsoever. So if it bounces back, that'd be great. We're going to need something crazy to happen for this one to run back up, because it's definitely taking a beating, and it's not even the worst in the account. Back to our first green stock, Misty, MSTY. Some people call it Misty, some call it MSTY. I kind of switch back and forth. We can see the YieldMax MSTR option fund, although it is still a little bit beaten up. It started at $24.41. Our average cost is $26.56, which is crazy. Like, when did I buy this thing? Now we are back up to $24.41. So we're almost positive, but the dividends have been so massive, they're offsetting those losses by quite a bit. So we're technically up 17, almost 18% on MSTY in just a couple of months. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I'm impressed. I am. People like to hate on this one because it's one of the most popular funds on the market, which when you have popularity, you get hated on. I mean, look at me. Trust me. I get hated on all the time. Can you tell I was joking? Please don't hate on me in the comments. So, honestly, I like MSTR. I like MSTY. I think Bitcoin's been rocky, but it's coming back up now, which is definitely pumping out some higher dividends and a better chart for MSTY. If you were wondering which one is one of the biggest losers in the account, we are here. XYZY. It's on XYZ, which used to be, was it Block? I don't even remember now. Everything changes. The tickers keep changing. It's hard to keep up. All right, I'm going to complain a little bit. It's just what I do. So we are down 41.15% year to date. In the account, we are down 32%. Our average cost is almost $18. It's currently at 11. Like, what is happening? And the problem with this one is the dividends are not big. They're not. We'll look at them in just a moment, but they don't offset these losses nowhere close. So I wouldn't be surprised if XYZY is the worst performer in the account, but there have been others that have been performing just as bad. So we can't really blame solely this one. It's been a rough market. It has not been an easy couple of months, although MSTY is doing fine. And it's one of two that are green. So maybe something's wrong with this one. Let me know if you guys are investing in XYZY. I'm really curious what you guys think of YieldMax as a whole in this market, because they have been getting beaten down for sure. So are you guys still buying? Are you still holding? Drop it in the comments, and let's check out our next fund. The biggest winner so far. Ticker PLTY. Of course, it's the option contracts on PLTR, which has been doing insanely well also. So at one point when I bought it, we were at 67.57 as our average cost. It ran all the way up to $95 and now has fallen way back off. But it is climbing once again, nearly going into positive for us, because we did buy dividends with drip on all the way down at the bottom and at the top too, unfortunately. So our market value, $133.36. Huge win, up 33%. In my brokerage account, I did a challenge where I bought 10 high growth stocks. PLTY, PLTR, SoFi, Tesla, a bunch of those. And PLTR was the best performer, up 88% at one point, which was insane in like a month and a half. Now it's coming back down to earth, but it's taking off again. And I wouldn't be surprised if it retouched these highs. Now, I'm not saying buy it. This is not financial advice. It's just this one's very volatile, and PLTR definitely has kind of a cult following now, I would say. So very solid, down only 7.6% year to date. The best performer we've seen. We're going to see that on our dividend tracking spreadsheet as well. Really, really impressed by this one. And I honestly didn't see it coming. So I did lose out on not investing heavily into this one before, but is it too late? Only time will tell. This is probably one of the trickiest ones in the account. And let me tell you why. ULTY shifted from monthly to weekly, sometime around here, mid to late March. And what happened with that is the drop stopped. Not all the way, but it slowed down significantly. Now, I don't know if that was because a lot of influx of cash, because now it's a weekly payer. I don't know if people are just getting behind this one now. I don't know if the market flipped, because it does hold some interesting companies like Baba, the Chinese Amazon. Don't know. But our average cost is $8.52. It's currently at $5.88. At a low, it was $5.42. So I would be really upset if this thing fell below $5. Now, as long as it stays in between the 5 to 7 range, I'm in. And let me tell you why. This is, I think, the cheapest YieldMax ETF you can buy. And the thing is you're getting a lot of shares, and the dividend yield is outrageous. So you're getting a lot of dividends as well. It's had some crazy months and some slower months. I will say it's not very consistent, but everyone seems to be talking about it, and it definitely is becoming a fan favorite very quickly with how much money you get for owning just a few shares. And a few shares are cheap. You can get 5 or 6 of these for 20, 30 bucks. So huge difference there. I'm happy with it. We'll see how it does. It's still in its infancy when it comes to being the weekly payer, but only time will tell. We're down 12% so far, but it has rocketed back these last couple of months. And one thing I will mention as well, growth-wise, if it can stay in that $5 to $7 range like I spoke about, because it's so cheap, you are able to buy so many shares so quickly. So if you get a good amount of money in here, you can buy 10, 20, 50 extra shares every dividend, because that's how high of a yield it is and how cheap it is, which is cool. Just helps the compounding, and it's really fun to watch, I will say. So with all that being said, let's jump into our dividend tracking spreadsheet and see exactly what has made and lost the most money in this account. Look at all of those dividends. Absolutely insane. But first, I have a crazy idea, and it might be terrible. And if you think it's terrible, let me know in the comments. But here's my idea. I want to make a Spencer Invests YouTube account. And what I want to do with that is when you guys give me tips, when you guys buy products like my spreadsheets, when you guys do anything that supports the channel, which I am so grateful for. Thank you guys so much. By the way, tons of support. I want to put that money into a YouTube account where if you're the one that donated or if you're the one that purchased something, you can decide what stock it buys into. Which I know this might sound absolutely insane, and I might have to really refine it down and get some of your opinions on it, see what could make it work. But what I would love to see is over the lifetime of this channel, I've watched it grow from literally 1 subscriber, which was me, all the way to where we're sitting at now, which is a little over 11,500, which is insane. But I would love to watch a YouTube channel account grow as well. Whether it be, like I said, from all the nice things you guys give, which you do not have to gift me. This is not me asking for you to give me 5 shares of Tesla. This is just a way to watch the money grow. And that's what I'm interested in. You guys know I invest a ton of my own money into this channel, not only through equipment, but for all these challenges. I have well over, I think, $5,000 invested now, which is absolutely insane, all for YouTube. But it's an investment, of course, and I love doing it, so I'm not complaining. But let me know what you guys think of that. Is that something that's viable? Could I do that? I would. I'm really curious as to what you guys think. Would you be interested in seeing that, and seeing how our YouTube account stacks up against things like, I don't know, VOO or SCHD or SCHG, all of those typical growth ones, or the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100. I'd love to see that, because I think our power as retail investors comes from our numbers and our ability to just be passionate about these things. That's how we win when it comes to investing. At least that's my opinion. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Good idea, bad idea. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I've had terrible ideas before. Absolutely terrible. But I thought with me doing the giveaway and everything as well, it would just be really cool to see. So anyways, moving on. What has made the most in dividends? So we have CONY with the last couple of months a little bit lower. Not terrible, but we were at $6, almost $8, down to $5 and a little under $4. We have TSLY, same thing, had a low month at $3.80, and then we bounced back up, $5.70, which is great. YMAG, $2.21, coming down from the $2.60 and all the way in the $5s early on, but these did take a beating, so I'm not surprised. YMAX, similar, down a little bit, but not nearly as bad as YMAG, which is why it's been performing so well, even though it is in the red. Then we have AMZY, $2.75, and like I said, it's been consistently paying in the 2s the entire time, but the price is just falling too much for my liking. And there, I said it. NVDY really showed up early on and has since then cooled off quite a bit. A lot of that having to do with the chip issue, with a lot of things going on with China, with tariffs, yada, yada, yada. There's like a million things fighting our stock market right now. I'm not even going to lie to you. And then we have MSTY. That was like, I don't care. I'm going to keep paying out insanely high dividends. And our initial $8.30, which I think is the highest we've ever had. No, PLTY. Wow. One of the highest we've ever had on the account. And then again at 8 and still up to the 6s, which is still very, very solid. I mean, it's still double, sometimes triple AMZY, sometimes almost quadruple. That's insane. Then we have XYZY, which is also a really weird name. I don't know why I struggled to, it just doesn't make sense in my brain. With $3 down to $2, again, dropping really heavily. Now think of AMZY's dividend payouts, but XYZY's drop in price, and that would be the ultimate disaster for the worst performers. Then we have PLTY, record breaker, $9 3 months in a row, and then still almost $8.80, which is absolutely phenomenal. Then we have ULTY, $6.30, $6.33, way up to $9.93 out of nowhere, and then it sold back off. Well, it didn't sell back off. It dropped a little bit more, and we see it come down to $4.94. Very solid. Hopefully it stays consistent and that price stays consistent, because that will be key. But let's look at our positions tab and see exactly how much money we've made. The moment of truth, the total return, and then we'll do the dividends and see what pays out the most in dividends. Oof. A lot of these have taken a crazy beating. We can see most of them are in the red, like I said, with our best performer being, of course, PLTY. Total return-wise, it's actually up more than this because our drip is on. And so this is not factoring in drip, which is a key thing to note. And then we also see MSTY still way up in the green. Very, very solid. Again, these are going to be all a little bit lower on here in comparison to just the Robinhood account. And it just shows exactly how insane the dividends are and how much they make up with drip and with dividend reinvesting. So now we can see CONY really beaten up, TSLY really beaten up. I always call it TSLY. I don't know why I just call it TSLY. And then we, of course, some have been doing a little better. YMAG and YMAX down 10%, down 7%. Not as bad. And AMZY is actually doing a lot better than I thought. NVDY taking a beating, down 18%. Down 28% is XYZY. Insane. Terrible one. Is anyone owning this ETF? Do you guys own this? Because I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. I'm not hating. I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm just genuinely, I mean, I've picked some ones that have gone bad too. I mean, I own it now. So like, if you think anyone that owns this is dumb, I own it. So I am dumb. But we can see ULTY, $9.19%. Let's see the most dividends we've had paid out. Oof. Wow. PLTY, and it's not even close. $7 above the rest, which second place is MSTY. Both of these absolutely kicking booty. And then we have ULTY, which is coming from behind again, because now it's paying weekly, but it's still almost to $28. And then Womp Womp, our worst performer, XYZY, with the least amount in dividends besides AMZY. So it's barely above AMZY, but AMZY is totally doing better in the total return column, which is absolutely crazy. CONY has some insane dividends. TSLY has some insane dividends. NVDY's had some insane dividends. But all in all, that's the full breakdown. So our two most positive in the account are MSTY, and PLTY. I'm really excited about these. I'm really excited to keep seeing how they do the rest of the year. I hope we come back to where at least most of them are green and we've made some good money in the account. And I hope you guys enjoy this series. So if you do, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.